Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you the books that I'm thankful for in 2020. So 2020 turned out to be a crazy year, I think, for everyone, but it's good to find small things that you are thankful for, and for me that has always been like books. I feel like although like this year I get to have two Thanksgivings because I am a Canadian living in America, so we get Canadian Thanksgiving in October and American Thanksgiving in November, so we get double the time to be thankful. I feel especially now there's a lot of things that you can be thankful for, like your health and the health of your family and your loved ones. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting out, I first have 9 Elms by Robert Bryzenda, and this is the first book in his Kate Marshall series, and this follows a detective who 15 years prior ended up capturing one of the biggest serial killers of the time. But although she was deemed a hero, the press kind of ripped her apart in terms of her personal life, and she has been still recovering even though it's been 15 years after the fact. And so when she's approached by someone to kind of do a side investigation, it kind of brings her down the path of the 9 Elms murder, which was the case, her last case that she was on. But what I really liked about this is that I read it. This was the first book I read in 2020. I remember I was super sick. I had the flu basically, and so I remember just being in a state where I just did not feel good, but I was able to push through and kind of read this, and it was able to kind of distract me from not like feeling like I had the plague. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. This book was very atmospheric and creepy, and there's a second one that just came out this month that I'm pre-filling this in like early November, so I'll probably have it done by this time the video's up or the review, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But it's just a lot of fun, and I always love the crime series that grip you in with complex main characters. I think that's like my favorite. Next up, I have House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, and this book, like, I know people love to hate on Sarah J. Maas, and I understand the flaws in her books and her writing, but nevertheless, like, this is like binge watching reality TV. Like, you know it's not good for you, but you still do it. But why this book's really special for me and why I'm really thankful for it for this year is that this is the book that me and my friend read right when quarantine hit in March, and we like devoured this. It's over like 800 pages. And we like flew through it. Like, we finished it probably like in a week and a half, and we were like talking to each other like every other day. And I think this provided a good distraction from what was going on in the world. I could lose myself in a different literary world with characters that were different from us, and I could kind of forget about the worries I had in this world. So yeah, it's kind of weird to be kind of thankful for that, but I feel like especially like right when quarantine hit, like everyone's like, oh my god. But it was nice to have this book that I could just like, you know, rely on and lose myself in. Next up, I have Lost Roses by Martha Hall Kelly, and this is the second book in the Lilac Girls trilogy, I think it's gonna be. And this is a historical fiction novel that follows 3 women over the course of World War I. We follow Eliza, who is a New York socialite. We follow another one who is an aristocrat in Russia, and then we follow Veronica, who is a peasant living in Russia. And I loved history in high school. I just loved learning about it, and I particularly was very intrigued by the Russian Revolution, and this book kind of highlights a lot of that, especially because we have the one character who is like an aristocrat in Russia, so it was very interesting for that. But what I'm really thankful for this is that it kind of boosted my love for historical fiction. I feel like I haven't been reading a lot of historical fiction over the past 2 years or so, and but this one kind of really sparked my intrigue and kind of wanting to read more of those. So I really enjoy this, and I can't wait for the second one. I think it comes out, I want to say, sometime in 2021, I know for sure, but I just love the characters. I like how it highlights women's stories from different paths of World War I and tying them all together. She does a really tremendous job with that, and you just totally care for all the characters. Next up, I have Gone to Darkness by Barbara Nicholas, and this is the 4th book in the Sidney Parnell series. This is a book series that I remember, I think I started reading in 2017, and I honestly have just fallen in love with these characters and this kind of literary world that she's created. Especially for me, I very much kind of admire Sydney in here and just her struggles. She is a vet that has come back from Afghanistan, and she's still dealing with PTSD and her demons there, and she has a canine companion named Clyde. So I just love that aspect of this book, and I just really kind of admire her growth over the past 4 novels, especially after the 3rd one, because that one was just like, oh my god. But yeah, this one I thought was truly amazing, and I really just love seeing this character grow, and I admire her growth especially in this one. So yeah. So October ended up being a very much kind of blah reading month for me. Like, there was just a lot of like 2 or 3 star books, and so this one kind of got me back on track with just feeling very passionate about reading. Like, it drew me in basically from the first page, and it is Long Bright River by Liz Moore. This is my first book that I ended up picking for my book of the month 6-month subscription that my sister gave me for my birthday, and it's been hit or miss with a lot of the book of the month picks for me. I think there's maybe like 2 that I've really enjoyed prior to this, so I was really nervous to pick this one up, especially because this one has been on my shelf the longest, but I was blown away by this. It follows 2 sisters. One sister is a homicide detective in Philadelphia, and then her sister who is a heroin addict. So when there's a string of murders taking place that are staged to look like overdoses but are actually stranglings, the one sister tries to find her sister that she hasn't seen on the street for many years. So while this is going on, we get flashbacks to their upbringing when they were children, losing their mother who was also a heroin addict. That's not a spoiler, that's kind of explained very early on, and then it kind of goes off from there. But this one totally engrossed me. Like, I finished this one relatively quickly, like within a short amount of time. It's almost 500 pages, and it's just a very quick and fast suspenseful read, and it made me kind of free fall in love again with reading, because I was just like having so many misses after another. I was just getting discouraged, and so I was happy to finally find a book that I was so passionate about and so engrossed in. And lastly, I just have like a series in general, and it's the Inspector Gamache series by Louise Penny. I've been kind of reading this series on and off for the past few years or so, but I definitely want to, especially going into 2021, kind of marathon through this series, because there's so many books out already. So it kind of made me really fall in love with the crime genre and crime series all over again, because I did a couple of like series marathoning with a few of the crime series that I've had in the summer of 2019, but since then I haven't really done that. But this one has kind of sparked my intrigue of series marathoning, and I especially love this series in particular because I feel like with like traditional, like, this book kind of strays from a lot of stereotypical crime series norms. In particular with Gamache, he is the lead homicide chief, and he, instead of like a lot of books kind of have these people being cold and distant and rude as like coping mechanisms for dealing with what they see, but for Gamache, he is very much a gentle giant. He's a listener, he's very empathetic, and I think that makes this really unique, and I really love he's very in tune to people's emotions, and I think that makes this really unique. And I just love the town of Three Pines. It is very cute. I want to live there, even though there's like murders that take place there. It's just this quaint little small Quebec town, and it just reminds me of Stars Hollow, and I'm like, oh, I would love to live there. But yeah, this is definitely a series that has made me thankful for kind of just wanting to kind of like see how these characters grow over the course of several novels. So this is definitely one going into 2021 that I will be marathoning. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what books that you are thankful for, and any other thing that you are thankful for as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.